War. War never changes. But what if it could? Are you the peace-loving type? Then finding a video game that speaks to your chill side can be a little hard. Whether it's stomping on Goombas in Mario or blowing away aliens in Halo, violence is a key part of almost every video game you can mention. The good news is that games that don't use violence as part of their mechanics are out there, and these are the 10 titles we think are the best. Cities, Skylines. Where have all the good SimCity games gone? Yeah, sadly it seems the beloved franchise is in a state of flux after the last game didn't do too well. But there are some great alternatives out there, which is where Cities Skylines comes into play. While it may not have the trademark SimCity charm, for obvious reasons, this is undoubtedly the best modern open-ended city sim. Skylines is available on just about every platform, including the Switch. It also has absolutely gorgeous graphics, if you have the computer to drive them. What really matters is the actual simulation and building mechanics. Skylines is a very granular game, letting you build just about any city design you like. There's also a mountain of DLC and expansions, and some of the later console releases do include some of that DLC in the price. For example, the Switch version includes the After Dark and Snowfall DLC. The base game lacks the more violent aspects of SimCity, such as natural disasters, but if you really do want them, there's an expansion for that too. Euro Truck Simulator 2. The enduring popularity of Euro Truck Simulator 2 is a bit of a mystery, to be honest. That is, until you actually play it. Yes, this is a game about driving your big rig across the European countryside, and there's a game in there that deals with the expansion of your trucking business. However, what really makes this game worth playing is the pure zen pleasure of putting on some good music and cruising the highways in your truck for hours on end. After almost a decade of expansions and upgrading, ETS2 offers you thousands of stress-free hours exploring Europe from the cab of your truck. It's weird, but it works. You don't even have to like trucks all that much. Rime. In Rime, your character has to climb, explore, solve puzzles, and avoid monsters. While the game is not particularly deep or challenging, it is beautiful and well crafted. You play a young boy who washes up on the shores of a strange island, where you must figure out its mysteries, while interacting with the strange spirits that dwell there. You can get this game on just about every platform, but we suggest playing it on a console, which does include the Switch. The Windows version, in our experience, is pretty poorly optimized. Still, this game is definitely worth checking out. The Talos Principle. This non-violent video game is also widely available on many platforms. We played it both on a gaming PC and an iPad Pro. It's a sci-fi puzzler where you come into the world as a robot, or a person controlling a robot, or someone who thinks they're a robot. Look, the whole point of this game is to unravel the large mysteries of the world you find yourself in, and we'll let you experience it firsthand, since that's such an integral part of the game. The primary game mechanic is the collection of Tetris pieces. They are locked behind puzzle zones where you have to solve some brain-bending physics and logic puzzles to open the way. It's a lot of fun, and apart from getting your robot body destroyed and reset, there's no real violence to speak of. Forza Horizon 4. Forza Horizon 4 isn't a simulation management game like Euro Truck Simulator. It's also not your average racing game either. It's an open-world game featuring deep online integration and a wide variety of vehicles, events, and racing types. There's nothing quite like this iteration of Forza, which has a long and storied history on the Xbox. This version is also available on Windows and is, right now, part of the Xbox Game Pass on PC. If you love racing, this is one game that can scratch almost every itch. Rocket League. Another game with cars in it? I promise. This is not like the other two car games on the list. Instead, this is car soccer. You can play with someone else, against the computer, just against the computer, or with the computer. You control an RC car and have to punt a giant soccer ball into the other team's goal. Easy, right? Well, Rocket League is easy to learn, but almost impossible to master. Experts at the game can pull off seemingly superhuman moves, but there are plenty of practice hours ahead of you if that's your goal. This is also available on Switch, which makes for a wonderful non-violent video game to play with your mates locally. The Tetris Effect. The Tetris Effect is that thing that happens when you play a game like Tetris too much and keep seeing it when you close your eyes. It's also the name of a video game that's taken the world by storm. Available for both Windows and PS4, it's Tetris like you've never seen it before. You still place your tetrominos and clear lines, but it's been spiced up with music and rhythm features that create something both new and hypnotic. The game is especially popular in VR, but it's still pretty good without it. Fez. Fez is a couple of years old now, but still holds up perfectly thanks to its lovingly rendered retro graphics. The big gimmick in the side-scrolling platformer is that it isn't actually a 2D game. The whole world could be rotated in 3D, which helps solve puzzles and open up pathways for your character. The world is fascinating, the artwork inspired, and you can play Fez on a wide range of platforms, including PS3, PS4 and Vita. The Vita version is the best mobile take on the game in our opinion, but you can also play on iOS, which has a much larger install base. Splatoon 2. A sequel to the popular Wii U game, Splatoon 2 is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch and is a third-person multiplayer shooter, except there are no bullets and no blood to be found here. You play as a squid person armed with a paint gun. Well, ink, if we're going to be true to the game's terminology. It has a super creative mechanic where you paint surfaces in your own ink color and then morph into squid form to speed across the level. There is a single player mode too, so you don't absolutely need friends to play. It's just that multiplayer is the main draw of this very family-friendly title. Portal and Portal 2. The last entry on this list is a bit of a cheat, since it includes 2 non-violent video games. Yet these titles are pretty short and should be played as a pair. This is a physics puzzler where your character is tormented by an insane computer running experiments. You need to use your portal gun to figure out your way through, dodging ever more deadly traps. The writing is laugh out loud hilarious and the gameplay tight and exciting. The Portal games are often cited as some of the best games of all time, and the fact that you don't have to shoot anyone to play it was and still is a breath of fresh air. If you like this video, why not gently hit that subscribe button and non-violently ring the bell while you're at it. You'll get immediate notification of the latest tips and tricks of your favorite tech. Check out our website for in-depth guides and explainers, and head over to our social media pages for some peace-loving online tech tips community action. See you next time. Tetrominos.